okay? First things first, pussy motherfuckers better hold they purse. If you ain't on my team, please step to the side. I will not be present when they rollin' your hurt.
Just to start off, can you just tell me a little bit about yourself? You know, who is Roosh Williams? Like, what are you about?
Man, who is Roosh Williams? That's a loaded question. What do you want to know exactly, man? I mean, I'm a 24-year-old artist, I'm a rapper, as you know, musician, a very, very hungry and determined individual. So there's a lot of ways I can answer that question.
Okay, well, I mean, how did you get into rapping?
Man, honestly, it was never something that I consciously, decided to do and, let me try rapping. You know what I mean? I just been listening to rap music ever since I was young. And then, essentially, when I got into junior high, I tried to emulate it. So, basically, since I would say 11.
Really?
11 years old, I've been trying to rap, you know?
Who were some of your influences, growing up?
And growing up, obviously, Eminem was a huge influence for me. I remember I was, in elementary when the Slim Shady LP dropped, and, that whole, the lyricism that he employed on that entire album kind of changed my outlook on everything. Outkast, DMX, Ludacris, Busta Rhymes, man, Jay-Z, Atmosphere, all these kind of cats, Royce the 5'9".
Definitely, man. Would you say that growing up in Houston influenced you as well?
Yeah, I think it definitely has, man. I think, if you listen to my music, you can kind of hear the southern twang a little bit, you know? I'm primarily, East Coast hip-hop influence and some West Coast, but the South definitely has, a big part to do with what I do. I was huge on Chameleonaire back in the day. I'll Get Your Mind Correct with Chameleonaire and Paul Wall, so all of a sudden, man, what's going down, you know what I'm saying? We're coming down and we tip, and just the whole flavor of it is obviously, instilled in me.
Well, just while we're on the subject of the whole Houston rap game, I mean, what are your thoughts on the rap game nowadays in Houston? I mean, it's still pretty strong, but I mean, I wouldn't say it's as hard as it was back in the day. I mean, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, man, I mean, on a national level, I think you're right. I feel like, back probably about 8 years ago in 05 is when, we really made a national push, and we had, Mike Jones, Slim Thug, Paul Wall, Chameleonaire, all these cats, they were superstars at that time. And, so now it's not like that anymore. But, it's a jungle, man. The underground in Houston is as strong as I've seen it since I've been a participant in it, you know what I mean? And I mean, there's a lot of talented cats. There's a lot of people with potential to do something big, and I view myself as one of them. But, yeah, man.
I feel that.
Jungle, to say the least.
Definitely, man.
So I know that you just released your Deja Vu Times Have Changed LP. Can you just kind of tell me a little bit more about the project? How was it recording? What success have you seen from it so far? Stuff like that?
Again, and the process of it was very, very drawn out. I recorded a bunch of stuff. I wasn't sure what I was going to use, and kind of over time I just built it. I went through different things, different jobs, transitions of moving from Austin to Houston, transitions from moving out of my parents' crib and getting my own spot, and just kind of getting up on my own feet.
Definitely.
And it's kind of what the whole thing was about, really. Just kind of chronicling different aspects of, who I am over time of progression. But man, I recorded in at least 4 or 5 different studios. I recorded some of it in LA.
Really?
I mean, it was very patched, kind of drawn out, and I had to patch some things together because I had so much stuff and I didn't know what I was going to do. But then the mixing process, man, my engineer, Lace Mode, he mixed the whole thing, and basically I wouldn't be able to do it without recommending track sounds, man. Sonically, I wanted to put a lot into the project and make sure that it sounded, when you put it in your deck, that's a real album. It's not some street mixtape shit that you got from this random cat. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
So that was kind of the focus behind it, just making it as professional as I could, and I think that I achieved that. So as far as success goes, man, it was all over the internet. We wrote into South by after that. That project got me verified on Twitter, which is kind of cool, I guess.
Is that what it was? That got you verified? That project?
I mean, I'm assuming so, man. Probably about 8 days after I dropped it is when they verified me.
Nice, man. I'm sure that was a pleasant surprise, because that shit just kind of happens, right?
Yeah, fool. I was at South by, man. We had done a showcase on South by Southwest. It was that Friday, so I don't remember the exact date, but basically it was a Friday at South by. I had just done a show off 6th Street, and then we got back to the car, and we were going to go pick up one of our friends, and, just waiting in the car, and I just looked at my Twitter, I got a DM from, the official So I just opened it. I had to answer some questions and shit. They were like, we at Twitter would like to verify you, blah, blah, blah.
And you're like, for sure. So you just said that you spent a little bit of time in Austin, man, and as you know, Hype Hits is based in Austin, Texas. Can you just tell me a little bit about what you were doing while you were in Austin? I mean, were you performing or what was up?
Oh, man, so I went to UT. I graduated from the University of Texas.
Nice. What'd you graduate with?
Honors.
Honors? Dope, man.
Yeah, I studied communication. I did communication studies.
That's good, bro.
Yeah, so it was a lot of fun, man. I spent 4 years up in Austin. I didn't really try to break onto the scene until, probably until the latter half of my junior year at Texas. So I want to say 09 to 010.
Mm-hmm.
Or whatever, 2009 to 2010. And basically I made a mixtape, man. It was like it was a very amateur mixtape, but it got me buzzing on the college campuses. And then from that, I kind of used my time in Austin to start spreading my name. So I would perform at fraternity parties across campus, man. Like I did the biggest parties on the UT campus, period, which was awesome. And I was doing fraternity parties. I used that to do more fraternity parties, like over at OU. I did some at Texas Tech. And at the same time, I was doing, Swarmore was coming up at the same time.
Yeah.
And we kind of linked up. And I would do all the Austin shows for a while, which was a cool thing. They were very cool. They helped me down.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, man, I just built my name, really. I wish I would have known exactly what I was doing, because if I had, merch, and if I had, my Twitter proper and all that shit, my social media game correct,
yeah. Well, I mean, it's all a learning experience regardless, you know what I mean? I think we just kind of pick up where we can, you dig?
Oh, yeah, no, definitely. I mean, I don't regret anything. It's just kind of funny looking back,
Yeah, definitely. All right, so one of the first times I ever heard about you was through a mutual friend. I know you know a girl named Rachel. Am I correct in saying that?
Yeah.
Okay, well, whenever I went to UTSA with Rachel, and we were just talking about music one day, and she was like, you need to check out my boy Roosh, and she showed me your No Hard Feelings video with Killer Callion. And I was just like, holy fuck, who is this guy, Can you tell me a little bit, can you tell me a little bit more about that video and, that track, how it came to be, just a little bit more information on it?
Yeah, that's one of my favorite things I've ever done, man. So the way that happened, basically, we had a mutual friend, a promoter, because I knew who Killer was, but we didn't really know each other, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the promoter kind of just reached out on my behalf, basically did me a favor, and linked me up with Killer, and Killer was with it. So we linked up. It was right before Christmas in 2010, I think. Yeah, it was right before Christmas in 2010. I was a senior, and like I said, I had been doing all these shows, building my buzz, stacking my bread, blah blah blah. But I had never actually collaborated with a major artist. So Killer called me, and I met up with him at HypeHits down in Houston. We linked up. He was finishing up the session, and then basically I had the beat ready. I got the beat from Stompbox, or my in-house producers. I got the beat from them about a month earlier, and that's kind of when I was building my relationship with them at the same time. So I figured the beat fit perfectly. I brought it to him, and I'm telling you, in 20-25 minutes, Killer wanted to call it right and came back, bang.
Really?
He was ready. Yeah, it was pretty crazy. It was an eye-opening experience for me, kind of to see somebody just doing it,
I'm sure that was kind of a surreal moment as well, considering that was your first big artist to work with, and you're like, wow, this is happening,
Yeah, no, I was definitely just sitting there kind of man, this is actually going down. This is cool. And at the same time, I'm thinking, man, I really got to bring it. Yeah, so like I said, I was doing all these fraternity parties, and I took some of the money that I made from that, and put it in a video. Because after we recorded the song, Killer I guess he was fucking with it, because he looked at me and was like, man, if you want a video, just let me know. Just let me know when to be there and we'll get it done. I was like, shit, I didn't expect that.
Oh, shit.
So,
who produced?
So we linked up and we shot it, and that really put my name kind of in a different level on the underground. People kind of started noticing me, and I noticed that everywhere I went for a year after that. People would be like, oh man, that video with you and Killer Callion. It's just damn.
It was kind of a little bit of fame. You got to taste of fame a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, that's dope. Who shot and directed that video?
A dude named Ike, man. His company was called Out and About Films. Very cool dude. I'm not sure if he's still doing it. Because if he was, I would still be making videos with him. I think that, last time I talked to him was probably a couple years ago, and he was telling me that he wanted to kind of get into films and stuff, so real talented kid.
So earlier you talked about working with Killa and said when y'all linked up, he went in the studio and 15 minutes later he had his verse. Can you tell me a little bit about your writing process and how you come up with new ideas for different verses or tracks?
Man, it's honestly a lot more random than you would think. I kind of operate off like just intuition. I operate off of what I feel. That's where my music comes from. So that's why I have such a range. You know, sometimes I'm feeling like kind of giving the people something introspective. Sometimes I just want to rap my ass off, you know, and just kind of talk some shit. But it's all contingent upon the beat. You know, how the music makes me feel, kind of what direction it guides me in, and then I sit down. And lately, you know, back in the day, I would just write. Like, I can write verses and freestyle stuff like that off the top of my head, whatever. That shit's easy. But when you want to make a record, you have to really sit down and focus on every line. You know, like, what am I saying? How does this tie together? How is this going to flow into the hook? You know, what are the people going to think when they hear this, like, this certain part or so forth? Like with the Bronson record, you know, I wrote that verse, I did the hook, sent it over to Action, he put it back, and then I didn't have a third verse for like 2 months. I just couldn't come up with anything. I couldn't figure out where I wanted to take it, and then finally he hit me and I got it. You know?
Yeah.
So it's just kind of like that, man. Sometimes it's like, yeah, I'll turn a record around in a day. Sometimes it's like I won't turn the record around for a month just because it's not right yet.
Definitely. All right, so I always ask this question, so here we go. Is there one moment in your rap career so far that sticks out as being most memorable?
And to be honest with you, it's very hard to just kind of harp in on one. It's really hard to take everything in when you're kind of in the thick of it. It's not until, you know, I sit back and just kind of reflect. Like, actually last night I was going through some of my old videos that I haven't heard in like a year and kind of remembering stuff that I've forgotten, you know. But I would think, if I had to say, it would probably just be the opportunity to be around some of the people I've been able to, you know, associate with, and just to kind of be around these legends.
Definitely.
You know, it's an opportunity to, you know, have someone like Bundy come up and tell me to keep pushing after I do a show. You know, it's an amazing thing that Killer Cali on.
How did the show go with, because I know you just performed with Paul Wall, right?
Yeah. We just did a show in College Station with Paul Wall. You know, Paul Wall showed a lot of love. Like, it's another, you know, it's a blessing, man. Like, I'm getting money in my pocket.
I feel
what I
that.
like to do. And I'm here with people that I used to look up to a long time ago, you know what I mean? So it's kind of surreal.
Definitely, man. I can only imagine. So can you tell me what music you're currently rocking out to? What's on your MP3 player?
Right now, it would be a mixture of my new EP that I'm working on, because I can't even lie, man. I always listen to my own shit. I'm always trying to make it better. And then lately I've actually been listening to a lot of just eclectic shit, just different shit, man. Like, what's his name? Mayor Hawthorne. I don't know if you know Mayor Hawthorne.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, he's kind of spoken. I've been listening to Mayor Hawthorne. I've been listening to Wax Taylor beats. I've been listening to The Weeknd. You know, just kind of trying to take my mind away from rap so that when I come back to rap, it's something fresh, it's something different. I'm not trying to be like these other people, you know?
Yeah, definitely. So you just said, you know, listening to your new EP. Is there any other information you can give me about your new EP that you're putting together right now?
Yeah. So I'm about to put out an EP. Are you familiar with Tech Div?
I've heard the name, but that's about it. I couldn't say that I know who he is.
Okay, man, yeah, they're a cool group out of the West Coast. They're pretty well renowned. There's 3 of them, they rap, but basically there's one of them that, one of the members of the group, his name is Like, he makes beats. And, he actually did one of the beats off of Kendrick's Good Kid, Mad City album. So we linked up, and we did an entire EP, so he produced, the whole EP for me. Which is going to be 5 songs long, so I got an EP coming out with him, doing all the beats, and we have Devin the Dude on one of the songs, so that will be my next project that should come out, man. If I had to guess, I would say within a month, honestly.
Really? Do we have a name for it?
I'm sorry?
Do we have a name for it yet?
I don't have a name for it yet. Well, we have several things we've kind of been tossing back and forth, but nothing that I have 100% decided on. I have the track list and everything done, though, and it's in the mixing process right now. I just got some scratches put on the Devin record the other day. So yeah, it's gonna be really cool, man. It's a different look. Like, the whole thing, honestly, the background for the project is that I was supposed to create an EP in a day with the producer.
Wow.
So we did the whole thing, basically like 90% of it in a day, and it's gonna be a part of like this whole bigger thing by a company called Simple Mobile. I'm honestly not sure. They kind of presented the opportunity to me, so waiting for the right time.
I feel
And I
that.
also have a video with Beezy coming out from that song off the Deja Vu album. We still have that video ready to drop. I'm just waiting to put my next content push out so that I can get it out there.
Awesome, man. If you could keep us up to date with any new releases you have in the near future, we would appreciate that. So just in closing, is there anything you'd like to say to the listeners that are checking out this interview right now?
Man, first of all, thank you for conducting the interview. I appreciate you taking the time and wanting to reach out so we can do this. Things like this always help out. Can't say thank you enough. And to anybody that's listening, man, thank you for listening, really. If you haven't heard my stuff, contact me on Facebook or Twitter. I'll show you how to check it out, or just type my name in Google. If you have heard my stuff, thank you for listening. Rest assured that there is more greatness on the way.
Awesome, man. All right. And so that kind of concludes the interview. But before I let you, can you do me a favor and just do like a short vocal shout out to Hype Hits?
What's going on, man? It's your boy Roosh Williams. You're checking out the hottest new music daily with HypeHits.com.